Mr.Bones. I'd buy that for $1.
What up, peeps? Mr. Bones back at you, and welcome back to another Dollar Tree Theater. And what we're talking about is A Night of Horror. Nightmare Radio. 8 terrifying tales to haunt your dreams. 2019's A Night of Horror. Nightmare Radio. Directed by Oliver Park, Jason Bognacki, and A.J. Briones. Written by Mauro Croce, Michael L. Fawcett, and Michael Kreitzer. Starring James Wright as Rod Wilson. Rod, radio DJ, hosts a popular horror-themed show packed with tales of terror for eager listeners. When he receives alarming calls from a horrified child, things start to feel off. This is a horror anthology of 8 terrifying tales to haunt your dreams. Well, off the bat, I'm going to share my opinion that I think 8 stories is way too many for an anthology, because by the end of it, I was starting to feel tired and wondering if it was ever going to end. With that being said, there is some cool stories in here, some that stand out more than others, some I don't really remember. I'm going to talk about the ones that do stand out to me that I liked. In no particular order, because I can't remember which order they were in, except for the first story, which was a creepy little one about a young girl who apparently her mother's like a mortician and thinks she should train her daughter in the practices of her profession, and leaves her in a room with a little dead girl that looks like she's the same age as she is, and goes out on the porch while she leaves her to like prep her for a picture for her mother to have as a keepsake or something. And it's creepy. She removes these coins off the little girl's face to take a picture, and every time she turns around she keeps moving on her own, moves from in this coffin to in this rocking chair. Then she looks under the camera and she's moved again. Oh, and there's this creepy part where she uses a spoon to peel forward her eyeballs towards her eyelids so they will be visible for the picture. Next thing she knows, she's right in front of the camera. Then she starts bending backwards like Reagan from The Exorcist. There's not much to this story. Nothing happens to the little girl. Nothing really happens. She eventually takes the picture, and then the mother and daughter that were there to do that go home. Then it goes to the next story. There's just one short story about this crazy hair extension seller, hair salon stylist guy that has this woman kidnapped and her mouth taped and is tying her hair, her split ends up in the air on these little hooks. And he's mad at her about something. And then by the end of the story, he kicks the chair loose. It's like a barber's chair. Kicks it so it rocks forward, and he scalps her. Then there's this one cool story that kind of reminds me of the movie from Masters of Horror called Jennifer, about a succubus. In this story, you have this old man in a hunting outfit chasing this naked lady, and she like is wore out and running, and he's trying to shoot her. And then once she reaches water, she gets like a power up. It turns out she's a siren, or a mermaid as the host calls her, since many of us believe in mermaids, that they do exist in the deepest, darkest waters out there. But anyway, he's trying to kill her. She turns into a mermaid, gets him down, screams so loud his ears bleed, and then pulls his heart out. The end. The moral, I guess, is don't fuck with a mermaid. Then there's this unsettling little story about this criminal who I guess done something to some woman, disfigured her or cut one of her limbs off or something, and as a punishment, he has to go through a series of surgeries, procedures, along a period of time, and they slowly remove all of his appendages, first like his left arm, then his right leg, and his other arm, then his other leg, and eventually his junk. Each time he gets something removed, they take him to school to talk to the children, and he's like, don't be a bad person like I was, or you'll end up like me. It's a good story, kind of unsettling to watch him go through all that torture, and it's kind of like how a family can be present during lethal injection or electric chair. The families of the victims come and can look through the surgery window and watch as each procedure takes place. This was a fun anthology, but as I said, I thought 8 stories was a bit much. I got kind of tired out by the end of it, but I watched all of it. I watched all the stories, and I preferred some over others. I pretty much talked about the ones I liked, and then the ones I didn't talk about, I guess I don't really remember, because some of them were like pretty short and to the point. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd say check this out if you run across it. Thank you for checking out the video. Peace.